Not only is currywurst an incredible and modern classic German dish with amazing flavors and textures, but it also features a 4-ingredient sauce that is both an amazing condiment to have in your fridge, but it's also surprisingly a great way to learn the foundations of classic sauce making. Who needs beautiful wines and stocks that have taken days or years of care and work to slowly simmer and age them to perfection when you can use Coca-Cola and ketchup instead? So let's jump right into the sauce. Add a medium-sized shallot that you minced up into a pan with a little bit of oil and a small pinch of salt. Sweat this for a few minutes over medium heat until the shallots are translucent. Sauce making is all about creating one perfected layer of flavor after another. The currywurst sauce is a great example of that, because if you were to just take all of the ingredients, ketchup, Coke, shallot, and curry powder, and stir them together, you would still end up with a delicious sauce. But if you sweat the shallots now with a pinch of salt, it becomes the perfect shallot to include in the finished sauce. Then add 20 grams of curry powder. Continue to cook it for about 30 seconds until it smells amazing. This blooming process does a lot for the aroma and flavor of the spice and ultimately the sauce. So if you ever see a sauce that involves spices, this is almost always the right moment to add it. Add 200 grams of Coke, preferably the glass bottle stuff with cane sugar instead of corn syrup, and increase the heat to high to cook everything down until it's mostly gone and syrupy. Once liquids go into the pan, in most cases your goal is to cook them to remove moisture and concentrate flavors, but each ingredient is going to require a different amount of reduction. In classic sauce making, what is being reduced at this stage is wine, not soda. In this case, the Coke benefits enormously from being heavily reduced down into a syrup. It increases its caramel notes and intensifies its flavor more generally. This is still all about making the best version of this ingredient that can go into the sauce. Because if you added the ketchup and the Coke at the same time, it would caramelize itself, and don't get me wrong, I do love caramelized ketchup, but it is not what we're looking for here. Finally, add 250 grams of ketchup and 100 grams of water. Bring the sauce up to a simmer over medium heat for 5 minutes to meld the flavors and lightly thicken the sauce. You can run your finger over the back of a spoon to check how thickened it is, or put it onto a room temperature plate, which can be helpful especially for thinner sauces. Usually in classic sauce making, this is the moment to season with salt. Because of all of these reduction stages, you never quite know how much salt you need until the very end. But every component here is already seasoned, so you're good to go. Finishing this could not be easier. Pick your favorite wurst. Bratwurst is the classic, but I went with Weisswurst because it is a personal favorite. I put a slit in the casing and peeled it right off, then toss it onto a tray with a light coating of olive oil and put it into the broiler for 5 or 6 minutes on only one side until it takes a very deep golden brown. Then I toss it onto a plate with a big spoonful of the delicious curry sauce, a little bit of Kewpie mayo, which to me is the only condiment mayo, and finally for some extra crunch, I tossed on some fried red onions. This is not only a simple recipe with some surprising German and American flavor combinations, but it's also delicious. But anyway, that is all for me on this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.